Second video of sport karate, and I want to elaborate on this a little bit more. So, why do we have kata in competition or in sport karate? This kind of goes along the lines of why sport karate was introduced to begin with. It was to express the art to the mainstream, but not necessarily display the entire art. Okay, how can we display an entire art? So, like you see today's world, they look at MMA and they go, "Oh, mixed martial artists." I find that to be so blasphemous. There's no such thing as a mix of martial arts when it's a sport context. You're mixing sport techniques of martial arts, not entire martial arts. And mixing something is not as simple as mixing. You're mixing within a restricted rule set. It's not the same. So how do you express an art in a sport format? Is it just with fighting? Well, fighting itself is part of martial arts in a sense of fighting for your life. But martial arts that were developed and born and forged for civilian self-defense from realistic situations, they were not thinking about sport. They were thinking about, how do I live? How do I survive this situation? I'm getting choked, I'm getting stabbed, I'm getting chased, I'm getting ganged up on by 2 guys, 3 guys at a time, I'm getting mugged, I'm getting kidnapped. How do I survive this? That is what the martial arts were born from, those scenarios and those reasons. It was not for entertainment, it was not for points, it was not for some sort of competition. And the idea of who's better has gone back, centuries. At the end of the day, an idea that works is just an idea that works. It has nothing to do with other arts or other ideas. If the idea works, put it in your toolbox. If it doesn't work, discard it. And Bruce Lee wasn't the first person to say that, by the way. That is actually something that Funakoshi Sensei said, which was, adapt the good, discard what is not useful. So, anyways, so the point I was trying to make is, why is kata important, and how come it's in competition? So, how do you express an art in sport if all you have is a couple of punches, a couple of takedowns, a couple of kicks, and maybe some submissions or some throws? How do you express an entire art with that only? That's not enough to express an art. In original karate, we had gripping, throws and takedowns, sweeps, kicks, punches. And sometimes you'd see them, finishing on the ground, and then they would stop the fight. But how does that express the entire art? Does that express the art for a 75-year-old woman who's trying to learn self-defense techniques? Does that express the art for the 8-year-old who's trying to defend himself against bullies or against a kidnapper? Does that express the art for the average person who's not even an athlete? How does fighting techniques express the art completely in full circle? The best way to express and to display the art, in my opinion, even though it may not be the most entertaining to some people, kata is the template of all the techniques that were developed through the generations and were preserved. And that's why they're important to preserve, because they're like before videos and before YouTube and before the internet, kata was the template or the syllabus of the techniques of the 2-man drills that express the style. Now, how do you do that in sport? You have people that go and perform their katas, like heian, pinan, the kanku, the basais, the gekisais. All of those different katas can be expressed in a competitive nature to show the audiences where karate came from. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it shows the original essence of the art in a sport competition platform. Do I believe it's the most ideal sport platform? No, it's just one piece, one element of sport martial arts, sport karate specifically. Is fighting the ideal expression of the art? No, it is one element. If I wanted to show self-defense to the masses, I'd have to display self-defense techniques. So, it just depends on what type of template you're using to express in the sport. But don't mistake sport expression as art, complete totality expression. It's only expressing pieces of the art. So I hope that clarifies a little bit, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more as I make more videos. But the idea is that a lot of people confuse an art when they see the sport, and that is completely inaccurate and wrong. Judge the art by studying the art. You will not complete studying the art your entire life. I guarantee it. It takes a lifetime for one art. That's why I don't believe in multiple arts. Now, you can do multiple sports. That's what people confuse with multiple arts. Oh, you need to do a little boxing. You need to do more takedowns. You need to do more submissions. Well, those are just 2 or 3 things of different pieces of different arts, not learning completely new arts. So just to end this video, karate has punching, straight, rounds, upward, right? Karate has strikes, knife hand, ridge hands, elbows, all of those. Karate has knees, kicks, kicks to all targets and illegal targets for sport as well. It has headbutting, biting, spitting. It has gripping, clinching, clinching the body in a like neck and arm or shoulder and head. It has clinching the gi, clinching the wrist. It has finger locks, elbow and joint locks, wrist locks, chokes, submissions, shimewaja, so blood and air deprivations. It has all this in the art. They're just not expressed in the sport. Okay? So understand that the sport does not represent the art, except for one piece or 2 of it. It's not the entire expression of a complete martial art. And this is where people watch TV and think what they see on TV is what it is, and it's completely, could not be further from the truth. So I hope I've explained and expressed, and I'm sure many of you will agree, and I'm probably going to be a lot of people that don't agree. I'm just putting it out there because that is my duty as a karateka, to put out what many people are missing, and missing the point quite a bit. Us.